is full of stress, whether we like it or not. As much as we wish this wasn't true, it's actually really hard to go even one day without anything on your mind worrying you, right? Think about that. Today, I'm here to talk to you about my way of coping with stress, journaling. I went through my whole middle school career and the beginning of my freshman year with nothing effective for me to do in order to lessen my stress. I'd always complained to my mom or had taken breaks from homework when becoming pretty frazzled, but I always came back to the same stressed mindset every day, no matter how much I talked it out or how long my breaks were. Nothing worked. Nothing helped. Then, in the beginning of winter this year, I had an English assignment to find one activity to do every day for 3 weeks straight that had a chance of benefiting my mindset or my stress in a positive way. I chose journaling since that was pretty much the first thing that came to mind, and I had a little past experience with it in middle school. So I went through the 21 days, journaling each day with the exception of one Friday night. At the end of these 3 weeks, I looked through and read all of my entries kept in this composition notebook. And I realized that most of the topics I written about were things that had happened during that time period that were stressing me out. I was also so surprised to realize that most of the things that were stressing me out during that time worked out in the end, and I had worried about a lot of things for nothing. This was a wake-up call for me. Did journaling about all the stress in my life actually make me feel better in the end? It's kind of ironic if you think about it. American writer Susan Sontag said, "In the journal, I do not just express myself more openly than I could to any person. I create myself." When you're journaling, you don't just write as if you're talking to someone else. You're not. You're talking to yourself. It's the same thing, but just on paper instead of in your head. You're creating yourself. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your feelings right on a piece of paper. A 2002 study done by PhD Josh Smith illustrates 107 asthma and rheumatoid arthritis patients who wrote for 20 minutes on 3 consecutive days. 71 of them about stressful events, and 36 of them about neutral topics. 70 out of 71 patients who wrote about stressful events showed more improvement on objective clinical evaluations than the 37-person control group. In other words, for these patients, journaling every day for just a couple of days benefited them medically. However, only the ones who wrote about stressful things, like I did, were benefited. But if I naturally wrote about topics that worried me, then it shouldn't be that hard at all for you guys to do that as well. Here's another more recent 2013 study. 76% of adults who spent 20 minutes a day journaling for 3 days in a row before a medical biopsy wrote about stressful events and healed 11 days later. 58% of the control group who did not write about stressful events didn't heal as quickly. Now, the word medical biopsy might not spark your attention, but this study is another one that pretty much proves that writing about all the stress in your life not only helps improve that stress, but helps your overall health as well. These patients were easily cured, so why wouldn't it help your body and overall health either? But here's the thing, only 4.8, that's less than 5% of teenagers across America write in journals for their self-enjoyment. What are we too busy doing? Scrolling through Instagram, Snapchatting friends, watching YouTube, playing Fortnite? I'll admit, I'm right there with you. Now that my challenge is over, there's no way I'm going to journal every single day anymore. And I'm sure all of you would feel the same way, no matter how old you are. There are only 4.8% of us for a reason, but that shouldn't stop us from at least trying. Who knows if journaling will help you specifically feel better? I already told you it helps your health, but it might not make you feel better, right? My answer to that is the saying we're all familiar with. You won't know unless you try. Author and speaker Michael Hyatt said, "What happens to us is not as important as the meaning we assign to it. Journaling helps sort this out." A lot of things happen to us daily. Minutes go by and the thoughts that have gone through your head could be countless. Technically, those thoughts would mean nothing if we didn't have anything to connect them to, or to build off of, or to think about a little longer. Journaling helps and forces you to write something down and then expand on it. It gives those natural, maybe even pointless thoughts some meaning to them, and you have it written down on a piece of paper. My recommendation is to think of expressive writing as a life course correction, as opposed to something you have to commit to doing every day for the rest of your life, said social psychologist Dr. James W. Penbaker. Let's be realistic here. Not everyone is able to journal every single day for the rest of their lives. There are always going to be times when you just had a really long day, or are on vacation, or just don't feel like it. To be honest, since that 21-day challenge I did, I don't still journal every day. Once or twice a week is even pushing it for me. Think of journaling as something to go to or something to do when you just can't get a thought off of your mind, or if you have something to say but don't actually feel like saying it. Just write it down. It will help you and it will benefit you, but the last thing I want is for you and me to stress out about journaling when it's meant to get rid of your stress. Sometimes you just don't feel like talking about it. Sometimes you don't want feedback from people who are quote-unquote listening to you. Sometimes you even have a mind-boggling idea that you don't want to lose, so you write it down. Yeah, there are times when I'd rather watch a movie or Netflix than spend more time writing, which is basically all I do in school. I get it. But journaling will help you. It will give you that ironic wake-up call, just like it did for me. Like I said before, you don't have to do it every day. If it ends up stressing you out even more, don't bother. The whole purpose of journaling is to help, not harm. And with that being said, just give it a try. That's all I'm asking of you. It won't hurt you, and it didn't hurt me. I guarantee that after one little thought-filled paragraph, there's no way that you won't look back at it later and laugh, or even feel a little better. Thank you.